naive na AFCON na ombu competition no.
Onye naive. Jimmy Carragher abo with a lot of African players. He was talking about a player, African or on a former club, Liverpool. So Jamie Carragher is not naive. Jamie Carragher bought in tournaments with African players. Only what the AFCON means to certain people. A fun baby. What Jamie Carragher was trying to put across now, paints a picture of a truism of saying any baby who AFCON. Rich, I say my Jamie Carragher card. And you know who is taught no. There are a lot of non-Africans,
especially the Europeans.
Even some not Europeans, some the South Americans, Asians, who think that the AFCON is not a major tournament. Uti asema Jamie Carragher kaina. Or say ene. Salah ekosu ebobo na oboni yesi o 50 plus goals and assists this season. Not Liverpool koji Champions League no. Liverpool G League na. Adia Baku Ebeka, when people will look at as a major trophy with his country. And he made mention, say, on free Europe, World Cup in him, AFCON on major trophy in his view. The truth is that, Rich. So we, a lot of the voters who are non-Africans are, Bebrena, so vote, they won't particularly see the AFCON as a major trophy. That is how they see our competition. And yet Jimmy Carragher, a lot of them, they just do not see say AFCON a major competition in terms of TV viewership, in terms of the competition, in terms of the money involved, in terms of Neymar Bebri. Most of the times, Neymar we SC because African players na bobo Europe are very important, and ubi say obi obebo Drogba, obebo Eto, obebo a lot of them. Rich, we have stayed on this continent. And almost every AFCON, especially in the last decade, there have been issues of unpaid bonuses to certain countries. Maybe Nigeria had this same issue before they came back to come and win the AFCON. We saw the Togolese national team and a movie about AFCON almost attacked by gunmen. So we've seen it several times, and one time. Almost every time in the AFCON, there's a certain level of bad press around it. But that also do not take away the fact that these guys know about it. And I gave Jeff the graphic. The question is, why? AFCON, a major tournament and as a new major tournament. What are the parameters in describing whether a tournament is major or not? The last AFCON, you're going rich. This is the marketing data that was brought out after the AFCON. Who share all your tactical boards and who join us on Facebook are rich. In your 2.2 billion views worldwide. Impressions. Whether so be who link be about AFCON, what click, who AFCON picture, be no what comment, everything on social media. 2.1 billion. In fact, so they compare South America again, we are bigger than that. Oko down, TV views, honoma. Yenya 3.6 billion TikTok videos alone created around the AFCON, the last one in Ivory Coast. 12.5 million views on Instagram alone on AFCON. The increase now has been exponential, about 17 more countries. Oshe broadcasters, yenya 41 FTA broadcasters. These are usually free-to-air broadcasters. Free-to-air, 41 across the whole globe. Yenya over there, territories in 171. 13 new markets. The Brazilian market, the Indian market, the Italian market, and then the Russian markets giving us 1 million. That's a major Eastern European country. Into the AFCON is big. Right? Jimmy Carragher kind of. The perception of a lot of people who are not Africans. Perception in the sense that most of the times, Africa Forum competition here, you bought a competition in January. Where sometimes they have had teammates tell them, say, time we have competition radio, it doesn't also get a publicity because around that time there is still the English Premier League. Players to be by yes, oh, yentia players to be playing tickets into Muntimi Conco do Chrome. See, oh, player we could do what no winning bonus the same country name farm momo into almost your more the Cameroonians, the Nigerians, the Ivorians, the Ghanaians consistently around the same AFCON that we are talking about. It's a perception of the competition that we play. A perception of Bonnie Honum. It's something that they have lived. But this is where Jamie Gharager is wrong. And for somebody or what that huge viewership, for somebody or a top football personnel, for somebody who has played with a lot of Africans and understand the importance of the AFCON to the African people, that is not somewhere that he should have something he should have said. It was a point, and they said, Odibanki, all the no says about AFCON. Because who him saying yet here? People may have their perception, and rightly so. But for somebody who has lived with African players and know their way of doing things and have friends like that, you can explain. Say, oh yeah, I mean AFCON, it is this blah blah blah, but it's a major trophy in itself. Which no can say at the end of the day, the truth of the matter, unim. Say ne salajino bejinina. Most people on be voting will not have AFCON come on the back of their mind and say, oh, the AFCON, as they would if it was a European competition. And it is because of certain things that we've done and not done. It's because of signing. But Jamie Gharager is wrong, of course. I mean, Ocean career, he hasn't won anything majorly. For the country, for the club, had issues with it. He doesn't compare to some of the top grades of the African continent and stuff like that. You can see all of those things. I think Jamie Gharager, you'll be so our penchant of racism. Okay. I've seen several times that Luis Suarez versus Patrice Evra stood by Luis Evra. It was unheard of. Sometimes there's certain loose stocks. But it's also an narrative of truth that we need to position the AFCON very well. And the onus is on CAF.
Now,
the onus is on FIFA.
To me question now,
yeah.
And all the about to kind. Young Africans.
Yeah.
And Asama Branti Cocaine, yeah, Chinesrani Abasai. Are we not trying to be hypocrite because even young players in the crown on Bobo Europe, sometimes. So I'm going to call and say, Mumna na mumbo AFCON players ni bi twitwa mo. So AFCON here mama bo.
To be very honest, AFCON we have to do more. We have to do a lot more.
In terms of, as the Africans in tea, no,
I mean you're rightly so you're wrong. And giving baby a not say, and the fact say you expect to say you know more rich. Sebe. Obi jina bonti no can see bia. Waiting in watching. But I maybe better now radio is depending on who I am. The followership I have, the mileage I have based on self-video way, now me Namibia, you will not forgive me. Okay. So that's why we will not forgive. I mean, you don't say Jamie Gharager kind of wrong. But also we need to do more. CAF needs to do more. Okay. And this is good because at the end of the day, under Patrice Motsepe, we've seen growth. It's a year more based on from FIFA, for the African players themselves. We need to do a lot more. Because Rich, Omutimi Koko could be an African player. I am on a call up to go and play at the AFCON. Media for Europe to be saying, AFCON, will you honor it? It is not possible. During COVID, they were asking African players. Mekai Sebastian Heller had to stand up and tell them, say, you can't ask African players this thing. Because the Dutch orange team and bisa players, no Van Dijk, Obama, Dutch team, you can't go and ask Nicolo Barella, will you play for the Italian national team? He won't. A nonsense of a question, to be very honest. Okoko bisa any 3 Lion player. Say, oh, you have to see about the based on say, will you honor the national call up? It's not done. But it's an African thing. We've demeaned our competition based on how you're managing your maybe. Okay. And that is why, chastise Jamie Gharager. Then we also take it with a pinch of salt and do the needful. Our management of the African Cup of Nations.
Mohamed Salah deserves a Ballon d'Or.
Mohamed Salah. His name will be up there. His name will be up there. Say Liverpool, Liverpool to make Champions League, obviously, with the numbers that he has, individual numbers now has been immense. Okay. Or very good goal contribution, the personal performances. So to me, the club glories who are attached to it, definitely, I think that he's going to be in there regardless.
Aya. They do good as I'm also Jimmy Gharager, and I'm wasting my time. No more, Papa Beno boy.
Okay. My main starting is saying.
Okay.
On Insha FM here, there are countless times either make your office one as more production honum. Then Fifi will be here, standing in front of the tactical board, not or any analysis. Then there are a number of times what pause in the middle of the analysis to come back and say asam na all kana all chechire mu no obi a o tie ni bia should pay attention to the diction and then the choice of words, because say one take the choice of words, you know, anyhow are all using maybe you may get a wrong interpretation of a seminar. I think say the Abre Gharager problem and the choice of words, but not the understanding of the message in our person. Yes. Choice of words, you know, and they say, Rich, time are not all kasano. You shouldn't have mentioned major tournament. Because even in major tournaments, there are rankings of it. How many times in a year debating with fear? The glory that comes between winning the Champions League and winning a domestic league. You debate that. You debate when Pep Money coaches say it is more difficult winning a domestic league than to win the Champions League. Debbie, Champions League there. I don't know what the HSL you got. But the two competitions are major tournaments. Rich and then see about season we. Now Barcelona G League was Spain. Now Real Madrid the Champions League. We will have a debate which of the two teams and then a more successful season. And the people, majority of us, will debate say because one club at the Champions League in the they believe say I was so a chain league remember. So the mistake
that it has no value because it's not Euros or the Copa America.
And they say or come mention
AFCON
the expression major tournament because Rich, there is no debate to it. Say AFCON a major tournament or not. And even a subject of a debate. It's been better. But to the context of Nkomona Jimmy Gharager, which Fifi has laid the premise spot on. Which let me give you an example. And you see sometimes, Africa for say they are no air to maybe more. And we forget Nkomono and no matter Rich say a Ballon d'Or. The Ballon d'Or award scheme organized by the French football magazine. Europe. Rich. Assuming Salah Eddie Liverpool Eddie the English League, you know. Kylian Mbappe Eddie Real Madrid Eddie the Spanish La Liga. Yebo Liverpool against Real Madrid in the Champions League final. Aside league, Champions League, Rich, assuming France, TNO, not even Euros, the UEFA Nations League, then Mo Salah, and the Egypt, and the AFCON. Somebody can see Rich. Almost vote for why and I was say Yamano Ballon d'Or. How many of them and I put premium on Mohamed Salah's AFCON and we know and say because of that may man additional points over player is a killer Mbappe. Let's be frank with ourselves. Omo to about Ballon d'Or. How many of them? And now Becca say head to head. Say Kylian Mbappe, any Lamine Yamal, and I say Mo Salah, any Lamine Yamal, and Super. Spain, I'm not even using the Euros. Spain added the UEFA Nations League with Lamine Yamal playing very, very crucial role. Salah added AFCON. Yamal Nakonya as a journalist. So uncle to about any the Ballon d'Or. Obaka say Mo Salah added AFCON in Tino. And only added advantage. Obama more points to Mo Salah. Which, let's be honest with ourselves. And see, the consideration of AFCON in the eyes of Omo these awards, no, Rich, in all honesty, they were from, and that was Jimmy Carragher's point. What he was saying is, Senka, if Mo Salah, a French or a Spanish, and Obama any of these European teams here almost in the quarterfinals of the UEFA Nations League here. But to me making even into the finals of the UEFA Nations League, it would have given him some credence more than say or the Egypt simple and about the AFCON. And see, for me, the analysis and the debate is not whether AFCON here a major tournament or not. Medical can say and any debate, mommy. I am non-starter. We shouldn't even debate that because I have facts, and facts are sacrosanct. And that why what you mean debate? Who debate the and then I would even debate. You don't debate that. But the actual argument is the premium on it. Now, Rich, look, Serena Obusa Fifi, no? How the Europeans appreciate the AFCON, no? Apart from the basis of racism, apart from the basis of say Europeans no ewu bibia for Africans with a demean mindset no, Rich, have we also contributed to the way they see the AFCON or not? You differ. And you see, Fifi was saying say any quite say and obitiminya even the moral right to ask an African player whether Obeko AFCON amane mai anase onko. But let me give you a classical example. Rich, Jimmy Carragher, or a true and true Liverpool. Meboa. Nancy Cameroon hosted the AFCON. Meboa. When they hosted the AFCON, Jimmy Carragher as a Liverpool person had one African player in his team that time. Very, very integral to the Liverpool team. Time AFCON, he was watching that African player week in, week out for Liverpool. AFCON. And we were playing the AFCON at the home of South player. Why the better chance? So my hosting AFCON. One kasa soil. There shouldn't be any debate over Kwara. But Rich, what did Joao Matip tell Cameroon? And you usually say Jimmy Carragher say Echo Anford week in, week out. And I say Otisky and I say BT. Now Oshe Premier League, you know, Saturday na near about AFCON. Now who say Joao Matip is fit, playing for Liverpool week in, week out.
And I'm about man,
he doesn't feel embarrassed. Pressure behind so he feels so okay. And as somebody say, I need to know about Cameroon or so or not. No, what kind of perception and educate you Jimmy Carragher?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Because I didn't have AFCON.
You see, I will not mean you see the word hypocrite because it will be too extreme for me. But I'm saying, say, we've also contributed to a more follow. Say, if they have any demeaning perception about the AFCON, if he was raising issues how many times na Cameroon akwa AFCON na yɛsɛ ntɔkwa camp adaya ɔmo say yɛnkyia ɔmo ka Boni will say ukobama no you go and fight over money now Obama no is sikasemana because they also play for their countries in Europe.
No,
they will never say sikasem see again. It never comes up. But that is a story we carry to these people said about AFCON. Rich, assuming someone want to research into AFCON, even using Ghana as a case study, in the last decade, what will be the stories? Journalists, sankasa. What will be the stories? If they want to research on Ghana, your AFCON journey, it will always be about budgets. There are even people who are Ghanaians who pray say, "I'm young qualifying for AFCON because we go and waste money."
Because you call Brazil, players man first can remember. Me a flies can the call.
Me say, Rich, the issue of hypocrisy, Bonio, Etinimem, and also AFCON in major tournaments. We are upbeat about it. Ghana needs to Ghana. Also, the employer say, "I'm not Ghana qualifying for AFCON." Because you're quite a pack with Sisika. Only go the difference better home. In terms of what the AFCON represents, only no, you are even worse. You are worse to praise her among my uncle AFCON.
I've heard people among us look. AFCON no crown a trophy behind is a good 6 million. AFCON how do you say? People question.
Exactly. So you see, say, and look. On this world of internet, they read our conversations about the competition and they know how we rate it. So if you think it's a madness to us an African player if I don't call AFCON, me also say I'm not fully read and they will say it is madness for an English to play England doesn't qualify for the Euros. It's madness.
Okay.
Look. We've brought this upon ourselves. We've brought it upon ourselves. And yet we go blame Obia. Rich, in terms of ranking of continental trophies, say Obiko winning the Asian Cup. Na Okase we winning Asian Cup in Tino. Emano a very competitive when it comes to awards. Be said Ballon d'Or. Wouldn't you laugh? Yes. And it is the same thing Gharager was trying to do.
In this second, I'm saying.
Say be a song go say. Or the Korea. Akoji Asian Cup in Tino. That is the point. You laugh. And until Gharager say, hey, conversation are you sure in the premise and the context na you didn't come on? AFCON will shake the tables. See, I can say, yeah, consider Obi, I'm on the Ballon d'Or. And maybe a problem of diction. I think say the expression major tournament in the na any class say Bakaga crass him cry because any day ultimate debate. AFCON is a major tournament.
Now listen to Emmanuel Jermaine or say some players like Mike Lessien, Thomas Partey, and that Liverpool Cameroonian defender, Diana Wokano, that is Joe Matip,
yeah,
are the reason why Gharager said that.
Exactly.
Because any players no grano. You have gone out here, and I just a big no. Do how much person mababo.
Rich, but who say one guy be what? Yes, good.
Wisdom, okay.
Black wisdom. Or say, on a dream because Ghanaians' problem ain't yet AFCON, no, but the waste of money. No. I'm saying, say, we can tackle the issues of the waste of money. But say, do the level where you Ghanaian pray. Say, I'm not Ghana qualifying qua. You are worse off than the European who looks down upon the AFCON. No? That is my point. Okay. You can say we want value for money. We can debate that. But the level where you Ghana then the AFCON as a tournament, you are demeaning it even as an African, and you are worse off in this contest then Jimmy Carragher na okasa asam na rich ma me fama no nsi
na yen cheska no preko
me what trivia bi within the content by trivia
okay
rich as a Ghanaian, especially as a Ghanaian journalist, I'm so vibrant on social media. Me making some observation. I don't know say only Fifi made the same observation. And we there for laughs. Gharager making some statement in the year. Rich. Look at African players. Omanya the moral right to give it back to Gharager. Ebi mu posti videos of Omo presentation on the subject matter. Ebi mu posti statements. Ebi mu posti only a picture and saying the picture is speaking more than 1,000 words. Rich, Omo enye the moral right say Omo gini posti pictures posti we ni na no. Rich, do you know what they post? They post either a picture of them lifting the trophy and I say Omo victory parade. Now Omo man follow a piaba in millions on the streets. Now Omo they crack check out and say, look, this is the scenes when you win the AFCON, and that makes it major for us.
Okay.
Rich, I was simply say, our Ghanaian players have not been able to come to the party.
Obi entim fa ne dia mai.
Who did you know?
It is a migration and casamento.
No, migration, no, I've gone room, no. Migration, yeah, back on room, have come back, I don't know. And I see Thomas Party.
Rich,
the bio to shoot as over.
You see,
my Ghana.
You see, Rich, I disagree with you, Kakra, with some migration Mumbu AFCON. In 2008, we saw ASEAN wanting to win the AFCON association.
But after an injury,
injury, of course, so he had it. Obenya, a reason. So about to channel. He was playing with his heart out until say, Onya reason say Charlie. I didn't know we na me come one, me carry an umpono. But these people are not even appreciating me. Now, Richie, these are some of the examples where Ahmed Hassan edged 4 AFCONs with Hassan Shiata.
Yeah.
All his statements, you know, and all picture of the Abba, Okuta AFCON trophy, you know. They can give you a lot of pictures. Yes,
even Mikel will be crying Casano. Or say I can speak of it because I want it.
Look at Algeria.
Go for it to be Kabio.
The picture out of about the whole career picture bay.
Oh, say about final.
But I say really.
Final.
But I say AFCON for Nagasa could post video. Almost say Cameroon and Egypt any the most successful. And Egypt winning 7, Cameroon winning 5, winning 4. And almost say 3 years and yet winning back to back. But me sure phone in that say to the active phone yami who back crowd. 4 in now.
I just got enough.